just wait for the recording to start. Welcome to this final, as Sally says, webinar. This is all about the dog-friendly tourism. So pause and explore, welcoming dogs, welcome dog-loving visitors here to the Cotswolds. A little bit of background if this is your first session joining us. My name is Chris Brandt. I'm the founder and director of Unmissable England. We support businesses and tourism destinations across the UK in shaping their experiential tourism offer, but also their marketing and communications as well. And I'll let Sean introduce himself as well.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm Sean Murray, the founder of the retail practice, a lifelong retailer, but having run my own boutique communication and branding agency since 2010. We help a range of clients in retail and lifestyle, and increasingly now in hospitality. But I have a particular passion for helping small independents and SMEs, sharing some of the insights I've used over the years or gleaned over the years from the big players. So delighted to be able to help today and share anything that you could hopefully find of value.
Thanks, Sean. We're both based in Oxfordshire, so in part of the Cotswolds. My background also includes working for the Cotswolds National Landscape as well, and which was formerly known as the Cotswolds Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty. So this workshop, as Sally alluded to, it is a series. So you might be joining us for the last time, but you might have also joined us for the other workshops, or there might be a workshop you weren't able to join us. The good news is that they're all being recorded, and you can look at and view these different workshops in your own time as well. So they're all available online, and Sally has the links and information about them as well. So workshop 1 was very broad overview of marketing generally. So it had something for everybody in there. Workshop 2 was about focusing on the couples market. Workshop 3 was very much about attracting families and groups to the Cotswolds and how to offer the packages and the experiences and the products for them. And yesterday was all about walkers and cycling. So today is about how we welcome dog-friendly visitors into our businesses and into the destination. So welcome to today's session. Here's our agenda. This is what we're going to be looking at through the next 40 minutes or so. We're going to look at how to understand the dog traveller, the dog-loving traveller, and their mindset. So getting into their mindset and what they are looking for when they're coming to the Cotswolds. We're looking at how to position your business as a dog-friendly business. And actually, what does that mean when you talk about becoming dog-friendly? So we really drill down into that. We look at the importance of the visual and emotional aspects of your marketing to pet owners, and also how you can partner up and work in collaboration with other dog-friendly businesses and places around your area or on a particular route. And that's been a real strong theme of all of our webinars over the last month, really. It's about working in collaboration. That's where we see really good stuff happening. Also looking at how to improve your listing and your digital presence and creating those kind of experiences, offers and packages as well. So lots to cover in the next 40 minutes, so we'll get going. So why is the dog-friendly market important? And Sean's going to tell you why.
Indeed. So over 50% of UK's households now have a pet, and that's mostly dogs. So I think it's a cliche, but nevertheless true that the UK and England in particular is a dog-loving nation. And actually, Sally and Chris and I were talking earlier just how much the relationship with dogs in our lives has changed from many years ago, sleeping outside in kennels, to now, in many cases, sleeping in people's beds. So really are part of the family. Dog owners are increasingly traveling more, and that's as a result of venues being more accommodating. And typically, people are booking longer stays and a higher spend as well. There's a very much higher return rate, and people are far more likely to proactively recommend and write good reviews when venues offer good dog-friendly services and products. Dog owners are typically less price sensitive, when their dog is welcomed. And obviously the mindset is naturally aligned with walking the countryside and what's typically called now slow tourism. So it suits the Cotswolds very well indeed. And dog walkers generally and dog owners, dog friendly, dog lovers are explicitly identified in study after study of a key and most growing segment for the Cotswold market. So loads of reasons why embracing dog owners could be good for everyone, not just the dog owners themselves.
We've got an exercise we want you to do where we want you to think about what makes a memorable dog-friendly travel experience. So if you have your own dog, this might be an experience or something that's happened to you that's really been memorable on a day out somewhere, or a holiday, or a meal out somewhere, and where you felt really that's been a really memorable experience when taking a dog. Now, if you don't have a dog, you might think of actually what that might look like. What would make a memorable dog-friendly travel experience for your potential customers and your customers coming? So we're going to spend just a quick pause on this. So put your answers, if you can, into the chat window. So you'll find the chat option here on the Teams call, and you can pop in your thoughts in there, and we will share some of those as well. So what makes a really good dog-friendly travel experience?
And lots of opportunities for puns like Paws for Horton.
Oh yes, absolutely, yeah, and there is extra points in today's webinar for anybody that can name all the dog breeds in the pictures included in this presentation. Yes, I think we included all for diversity.
So Frank has put able to take the dog around the attraction, so being dog friendly attractions. Free poop bags, boot bins, lots of space to run off the lead, free treats, lots of fresh water, Tanya's put in.
Yeah.
So can't see that we've got anybody else at the moment. So yeah, that's. But I know some of the hotels are now sort of even dog beds are being included in dog treats as well. Oh, in fact, Bath Priory, thank you, being greeted in our room with a dog pack. So a toy, a ball, poo bags, dog shampoo and snacks. So really lovely. And then Nikita's put being able to accommodate the dogs. So fresh bowl of water, accessibility if it's somewhere that's awkward. So yeah, perfect. And access to all parts of the venue for Westonbirt, and an outside dog shower. That's really good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant, thank you, Sally. Yeah, lots of meeting the needs there to not only the dogs but also the dog visitor, the dog friendly traveller as well. So that's really good, and that access is really important as well. So they're getting that full experience of visiting the attraction or the stay, etc. So they're not being excluded for anything at all because they are bringing their dog with them.
So what do dog owning visitors really want? So it probably won't be a surprise that many of these are, I guess, the essentials, the basics, but nevertheless, if you can deliver on these, you will attract dog lovers, dog owners. So safe walking environments. In fact, someone touched on it earlier about lots of off-lead areas, but clear information on the off-lead and on-lead zones. Knowledge, briefings beforehand on nearby roads, livestock and dog restrictions. So the real practical considerations, just reassuring people of what they can do and they can't do. Obviously, conditions or setups that can help the muddy paws, the wet coats, so feeding areas and so on. And again, someone mentioned earlier about the packs. This kind of ties into that. So doggy towels and rinse stations, treat jars on arrival in the room, dedicated dog sleeping spaces, which could be a dog bed or a basket, and waste bins and bag stations. So real, practical stuff, but nevertheless shows a venue is genuinely dog welcoming. And also a feeling of belonging together. So as I touched on earlier, dogs really are part of the family now. So owners want shared spaces. They don't really want segregated ones. Dog-friendly cafes, fireside areas, and garden seating, all of those things. The dog is part of the family. And then tapping into your local area, or a theme that's come through on all of our workshops, but really sharing the local knowledge, sharing the best walks, the best nearby pubs, the best scenic routes, all apply to dog owners as much as they do to people seeking a romantic break as well. And also space to meet other dog owners. I think, it certainly in the village where I live, the way you get to talk to other people is when you're taking your dog for a walk. It's just a very sociable thing. So a great way of bonding and meeting other people too.
Next, we're going to look at how to position your offer. So I love this, is my favorite slide at the back. So sad dog face. So from dogs allowed to dogs are loved. So how do we actually say and communicate what dog friendly means for your organization? Because it is a term that's very widely used now, but it can mean different things to different establishments and different businesses. So saying we allow dogs isn't just what we're looking for and what we're looking for businesses to really take away from today. Instead, we're looking for actually, your dog is very much a part of the family, as we just saw in the previous slides there. So explaining what dog friendly means for your organization, for your business, for your event, etc., is really important, and to say how you actually are giving them a proper welcome. So from having that nice stay, having those features within your experience, within your business, here are some examples. So for example, the dog bed and the water bowl, we mentioned it earlier. It creates the feeling that you have truly thought of everything. So it's it depends on your business type, but actually it's really shown that you care. You're meeting the needs of your guest, of your visitor. So what you want to do in your marketing and comms is show this and communicate this, having imagery. As you'll see today in this presentation, lots of really strong imagery of dogs, of people with their dogs, and having their holiday or what they're doing in those pictures is really important. So having photographs and copy actually will communicate that and give proof of that as well. So secure gardens, so security for dog owners is really important, especially with particular types of breeds of dogs as well. So actually having that safe environment, that safe, relaxed area. Again, so explaining what that looks like, where it is, how to access it, where it's available. Having a video on your website and social media, again, just giving you proof and giving the guest proof about how it works for you. And trails from the door as well, really important. So, not going onto a main road or onto a main country lane or something like that. Having actually, if you're lucky enough to have a public footpath that's nearby or pavement, etc., then explain this as well. An Instagram reel could be a really nice, fun engagement piece that you can actually communicate that. And we mentioned it earlier as well, the dog welcome packs, again, showing that you really care, providing quotes and case studies and images as well throughout that. So again, it's explaining and it's demonstrating how you actually go that extra mile for dog friendly visitors. And really, the small details really matter when it comes to when trying to cater to this group as well. So we've got different types of businesses on the call and different businesses that will be watching this afterwards. So some of these things might not always be appropriate. So we've tried to cover everything, but there's enough in here for you to take away to actually add to your own experience or your own business or event. So a welcome box, a dog welcome box with treats and a chew toy, costed into your accommodation, for example, is a really lovely way to really welcome dog-friendly visitors and the dogs. Best walking guides, we see this in pubs a lot of the time now, in lots of country pubs, like pamphlets or takeaway leaflets, details on Facebook or Instagram and then on their website about how to go on a really lovely dog walk, and providing that mini guide and that copy. Back to the practical stuff: dog towel, muddy paws, welcome sign, so signage around your premises, again demonstrating clearly that you are dog friendly and explaining again in detail what that might be. And some really fun things like top dog of the week, and in a photo wall. Again, it really just speaks volumes to this group and to this potential market as well. So a bit of a competition there as well. Works really well for the locals as well, coming in backwards and forwards as you get more and more visitors coming in doing this. Paw print welcome card. So again, this might work really well for an attraction, having something to take away. Water bottle refill station. Generally, it's really good for visitors, especially those who might be walking and cycling, but particularly with this audience as well. Having a dog bowl where they can actually take some water or put some water into the dog bowl, but also having a refill bottle that they can use, so they can actually give their dog some water later on a walk. Bandanas and birthday treats and dog games are just some extra mile things that you can be doing as well. But really, the small touches can feel like offering that premium experience. So it doesn't have to be a huge investment, but some of these things can really enhance that experience to your visitor.
And I think what Chris has shared there got me thinking a few weeks back when we were thinking of the content around the sort of two levels of activities you can think about in making your businesses attractive to dog visitors. One is the hygiene level, if you like, the essential stuff, the water, the rational stuff. But then if you really want to differentiate and you really want to go the extra mile, can we learn anything from other venues that have done something perhaps a little more creative? So these next slides are just sharing some examples from around the country and beyond, I think. So the first one, doggy cinema nights. This is now a bit of a London thing, but taking your dogs to the cinema to watch a movie. Obviously, you might not all be able to do this, but the purpose of it is to really get you thinking, actually, how do we go beyond the basics to really create some standout and attraction? And of course, this type of stuff becomes highly shareable on social media and can get you really valuable reach and engagement. So the next one, forest snifari trails. So possibly or potentially much more appropriate for the Cotswolds, and for the dog lovers in the audience today, you'll know how important smell and sniffing is for dogs. It's part of their life and brings them alive. So tapping into a real need, but making it fun. And when you get the pack afterwards, there are links to the websites so you can take a deeper look at these examples. Canine afternoon tea. So sandwiches and food all aimed at the pets, the dogs, obviously dog friendly, fun, great for a dog's birthday or something. Again, makes highly Instagrammable content that can mention your venue, and again, potentially getting free publicity. Paws and pubs. Told you I'd play on the cliches, and walking tours. So we've mentioned those before. One local to us, the Falcon in Warmington. Very good at this, really, really good. And again, a link on this slide, which you can discover more. And dog agility in adventure zones. So we know how important activity is, the running, the jumping, the letting off steam for dogs. So play to that and create perhaps an area, and on some of these slides, you'll see, well, in fact, all of these examples, we put in there just a rough guide to how much investment might be needed, but also what type of charge you might make to your visitors as well. So a lot of these aren't hugely costly to do, but can really add value to your overall package and service. And again, an example there. This one, combining two of my loves, dogs and wine, so dog-friendly vineyard tours, and the raffinery estate is a good example of this. So quite unusual, this one. And again, it just, for me, demonstrates the creativity that you can apply and really thinking outside the box on what you might do to really give yourself some distinction. And a dog spa, of course, really pampering and preening your pets. The Country Dog Hotel and Spa being a really good example to look at for how they do it. And this one, again, quite surprising, doggy bake-off workshops. So for the dog owners, but where you can create food and dogs and preps and learn how to do it for canine friendly food. So this one's down in Devon, and again, a great example to take a look at. Stay and train. I was particularly interested in this one because I think, having had a dog for a very long time, the initial stages, you really are wondering how much training is needed and do you have the right trainer, and there's different methodologies, but actually going away to a location where this could be part of the package, I think would be really attractive. The Bowerland Cottage is again a good example to look at, and really shows how to do that well.
So lots of takeaway ideas there. So please do steal them, because there are some really good ideas. I mean, the wine one particularly, because we've got a vineyard on the call today, but actually having that access. So if you've got your dog on holiday and then you see, oh, there's a wine experience or a wine tour, oh, I can't go because I can't bring my dog, but having some availability where it could be dog friendly. You might do this already, but actually that's really open it up to everybody, especially when it's such a big market. And that's Sniffari, whatever it was called. That mean that please somebody, Westernbert, take that idea if you're not doing it already, because that's just really cool. So a lot of what we're saying today is also about working in partnership. So we're looking at how you build that kind of network across the Cotswolds. And I know Sally has been doing a huge amount of work on dog-friendly businesses across the region. So it's really important that if you're doing any of this, it's kind of sharing back with Cotswolds Tourism, sharing back with other businesses in your local patch as well. So it builds a network. So actually they might be coming to you if you're a pub or a cafe, they might be staying locally, but actually builds that connection, and there's more reason then to stay in destination or in that part of the Cotswolds, because everything is there for the customer to use. So connectivity is really important, and creating a dog friendly map on your website, it could be simple Google map, it could be an illustration map, but again, just demonstrating, talking to the market and saying, actually, we've got these pubs that are dog friendly, this cafe, this accommodation, this attraction, this farm, etc. And it just builds a kind of a mini package and an experience, an itinerary for your guests to come and visit you and other businesses in your area as well.
So you'll have noticed the image choices in this content have deliberately been chosen to be highly emotive, and I think that has a theme that's run through all of these webinars. But with dog-friendly content, you have the ability to really tap into people's emotions and have some fun with it as well. So I can't recommend enough really building in the emotion here. So authentic photography, real dogs showing real situations, and maybe encouraging your guests to share, of course, their content. So UGC, user-generated content. It's highly effective in increasing your reach and awareness. Videos again can be used, and reels, etc. And use real language copy and tone of voice. So, roaming and snipping and all of these things are great adjectives and words to throw into your coffee, but into your copy. The bottom line, I think, on your comms is authenticity, building high levels of emotion, and genuinely warm content will really appeal to this audience. And the great thing is that generally dogs make great content and great subject matter for content.
So taking some of that, and if not all of it, and making sure you're optimizing it for your search engine optimization and online presence as well. So really kind of looking at what this means, and we've said about it before, dog friendly, what does it mean? Explaining on your website, on your social media, and your comms generally, giving a really friendly explanation of what that means as well. So where dogs are allowed, where they're not allowed, all that information as well. It helps the visitor generally prepare for their visit as well. So there's no hidden problems or anything like that. So this really helps having that information on your site and also visibly as well at your premises. So there's some takeaways there to have a look at and to adjust your premises, or as I say, your website and your social media as well, so you can actually make sure you're talking to this audience.
So making it happen, as us marketing people often call it, activation. I can't recommend enough having a plan, either to enhance what you already do, or if you're not particularly doing anything to attract the dog market, then at least have a roadmap. So you might not need to do all of these things, but I think firstly, defining your dog-friendly USPs. Again, more marketing jargon if you're not familiar with it, your unique selling points. So what makes your attraction, your venue, your business special and unique? And we shared some examples earlier of people who are doing that. So it's beyond the basics, beyond the essentials. What is it that gives you some uniqueness and standout? Often from that, you can then develop your emotional hook, depending on what that USP is. But as I said, playing into the emotional side of this is really important with your communication and marketing activities. Audit your space, your touch points, your communication channels. How well are you doing, both practically with the essentials like water bowls, but also your website and your content? So take an audit approach to what you're doing. And sometimes it can seem quite daunting and overwhelming, but bite-sized chunks, I think, is a really good way to improve what you do for this particular market. Perhaps create one or two signature dog experiences or packages. Again, this allows people to quickly understand it's a low friction, easy purchase when things are packaged. Chris touched on the importance of partnerships earlier. Again, a theme from previous workshops. Can't recommend enough the benefits of partnering with appropriate other businesses. I've used the same expression in the other workshops, but 1 and 1 can really equal 3 for lots of reasons. But you can also tap into each other's customer bases as well. So, for example, if you're partnering with a business, local business, they can promote you on their social feeds or email database and vice versa. So you can really make those partnerships work hard for everyone's benefit. Capture real dog guest imagery, encourage people and even incentivize them. If you're struggling with imagery at the beginning, maybe encourage your friends and family and your dog loving own network to contribute. That's a good way of kickstarting content. And definitely create as we touched on before, the dog loving pages, content on your website, and the map, the all important map to show where local dog friendly cafes and shops are. So there's 3 other points. Play to the seasons. You know, the UK, we're, you know, fairly famous for having very changeable seasons. Don't see that as a negative. Play into it and use it to your advantage. So really understand how to optimize your offer for autumn, summer, winter, and so on. Encourage reviews and UGC, user generated content. Make it easy for people to do so with things like QR codes to write a review. And then finally, really, is measure and refine and grow. So keep measuring what you do, you know, how much engagement a certain post getting, what could you learn about that last post, keep refining and keep growing. So a 10-point plan you can sort of dip in and out of, but the bottom line, I think, is really about understanding where you are now against what you want to be, what you want to do, what your USPs are, and then creating an action plan to close those gaps.
Oh, that was a prop, thank you, wasn't it? I just want to go back onto that building seasonal campaigns, because this audience, you know, it travels all through the year, but in particularly kind of this time of the year, winter, autumn, etc., especially that domestic audience as well. So actually, if you've got, you know, quieter months and business is a little bit slower, then actually having experiences or campaigns to really speak to dog friendly visitors as well. It's kind of, this is the time you want them to be visiting, so you need to be reacting and actually doing that and being proactive, should I say, before the winter comes in, and actually promote these different packages or experiences or opportunities and special offers as well, because this audience particularly likes to come at this time of the year. Well, we're going to open up to any questions now, so you can grill us on any dog-friendly market activity and information, and we're happy to answer those. I don't know if we had any in the chat so far, Sally?
Yeah, so Frank has put, where do you put the reviews? So this is obviously in regards to dog-friendly reviews.
I think this might be earlier on when we were talking about having like case studies and quotes and things like that. That's important to have it on your own website, and then if you've got social media, using that on Facebook, etc. as well. So just short little quotations about experiences of your customers when they've had a really good experience bringing their dogs or dog to the venue. But also, you know, you want to get that review going through TripAdvisor, Google, etc. as well. So once you're doing this, really start encouraging and promoting you know, the opportunity for customers to review online, because again, the review sites are just as important for any other market segmentation. They're going to be checking out, as we all do, to see how those reviews fit for them, and see how it meets their needs as well coming. Does that answer your question, Frank?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Can I ask another one while I was typing it? You've got everything on the website, really dog attractive. You've got your maps, etc. But how do you get to the dog owners to get them to go on the website? Are there dog clubs, or how do you do it?
Again, it's from the language that you use. So search engine optimization. So when we're talking about how people find you on Google and other search engine sites, having that copy in there, that information already will enhance you. So you need to really put good quality copy and information, and also keep it updated as well. So Google likes to have updated information all the time. So it improves your ranking in social optimization, search engine optimization. We also need to be communicating using the different channels to get people to that site as well. So Facebook, Instagram, etc. are good ways to do that, to bring people to you. You could try doing an advertising campaign on those social media sites. So you target, there is a category on Facebook, for example, which is around very much, for several on there, about dog friendly type of people. So you can do a campaign, spend no more than 20-30 pounds on that. You could do it in a local, 20-mile radius, for example, from your organization, from your premises, and that could really enhance. But it's you could reach out to local dog walking groups, etc., like that. Why not? It's a combination approach of different ways. I don't know if Sean, you've got anything else you want to add.
No, the good news in a way was up until fairly recently, social content wasn't included in Google search, so it was treated separately, but it now is. So as well as the content on your website, the more you're posting on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok or whatever will actually count in terms of helping you go up the rankings too. So none of that effort is really wasted. I certainly like the idea of going to groups because they've already self-selected as your audience. Someone else has done that work for you. So it's kind of finding those right groups. So my advice, I guess, for someone who's limited on time and resource is focus on finding the right groups and then try and even build a relationship with them as well. Obviously, some Facebook groups tend not to welcome commercial posts, but others do. Others are very welcoming of it. So again, find the group, spend your time researching those, and you've already got your audience there.
If I can come in there as well, another idea is sort of Instagram days, get some influencers that are high on sort of dog owners and friendly, and sort of holding a Insta meet. So you get, let's say, 10 local bloggers or Instagrammers to your venue and do a walkthrough and ensuring you've given them the right hashtags, and so you're almost controlling that media event, and you're getting to the engagement. Choose companies that or influencers that are obviously doing local engagement, and then see how that works first. There are also dedicated dog friendly websites, so there is one for the Cotswolds, dog friendly Cotswolds. So again, I don't know, there could be a charge for going on listing on those websites, but again, it's identifying, is this additional sort of marketing, or is this going to be quite a focus for you for reaching visitors? But yeah, we as Cotswolds Tourism, I've put the link in. We've got a dog friendly section, but also we do blogs and newsletter content, and we tie into Visit England's content call outs, which again will have next year more of a focus on some domestic themes. So we will be sending that out in our newsletter, a bit of a marketing plan for 2026 shortly. So you'll be able to see where in advance we'll be doing the content call outs. So again, make sure you're ready with your strong imagery so that you can be included in those blogs. I'll put a link to the blogs so you can see the type of content.
Thank you, very helpful.
Thank you, Frank. Any other questions, Sally, we had on the chat? Just while you're looking at that, any of these things we've just been talking about there is about repeating as well. So if we use an example of a pub dog walking event, the pub that what led us to that idea, well, sharing that example, they started off probably about 2 or 3 years ago, probably got about 2 or 3 people on the first walk, and then they continued it, so it's now every other month or every month. And of course, the good thing with local dog walkers, they communicate and talk to each other, so actually that's now got over 100 people every single month, and it's now a thing. And obviously they're spending lots of money when they come back to the pub, they're having meals, but they're also going to that pub in all the other times as well, because it is dog friendly. So it's a great way of doing it, having some events, but often you have to repeat. Don't just do it one off and think, oh, nobody came. You kind of have to get that word out and repeat for real success.
And Nikita said it's given her many ideas and look forward to trying being a dog owner herself. She sees the ideas of being very useful, being in the middle of the countryside, and sometimes there's not that much in the local vicinity. And I think this is it. You know, look at where you are as an attraction, as an accommodation provider. Who else is doing what? And it could be that actually you discover nobody's doing anything, so it gives you a unique opportunity.
And one final point from me, which is for those who don't know Suffolk very well, I found it the most amazingly dog-friendly county. Lots and lots of venues and pubs and hotels and stuff. Really is a dog walker heaven, Suffolk. Obviously, it's near the coast, but it's many comparable sort of establishments to the Cotswolds, so well worth a look, either going there yourself or doing some research online. But Suffolk, very dog-friendly attractions in that county.
Perfect. So we've got lots of ideas there. Has anybody got any other questions? If not, we know how busy everybody is. So thank you to Sean and Chris. And just check in. We've got nobody with a hand up or anything. No, thank you for everybody for joining then. We'll send the recording and slides out. And if you've got any questions, then feel free to email us.